All right, we're here with Sina Grace. Sina, how are you doing today?
I am good. I'm annoyed because there's lawn work being done and it's a Saturday, and I'm just sort of like, come on, I want this to be quiet. But if you can't hear it, it's fine.
Yeah, I can't. I can't hear it. So I wish you couldn't either, though. That is horrible. Like around here, the closest thing we have is like when it's harvesting season and people are running tractors till 1 or 2 in the morning, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I feel you on that. We're here today because you're going to be here in Lubbock, Texas, as of this recording in a week, like just a few days away. I'm excited. Have you ever been to Texas before?
I've been to Texas a few times, and I'm excited about Lubbock-Con in particular because I used to draw this book, Little Depressed Boy, and the lady who wrote it, Isabel, she's done this show a few times and absolutely loves it. So I'm I'm kind of excited that I finally get to go.
Yeah, yeah. For those who don't know, that's Ivy, Isabel. She's awesome, and yeah, we maybe we can do like a reunion in a couple of years and get her back in and get you back in, and it's a lot of fun. Our yeah, Lubbock-Con is really cool and different than most cons because we're completely volunteer ran. Like nobody,
Oh wow.
I'm not gonna say nobody makes any money. Like the guests make money, but like we're all, we all volunteer our time. We're a 501(c)(3) and stuff. And I think that's really neat because it allows us to focus more on like when bringing in guests who are, not just people who are the new hotness, which you are. I mean, well, not just new hotness, like you're always awesomeness
I'm
hotness,
old
but
hotness.
yeah, hey, it's better than old and busted like me. So, it's and I think that's really fun because like you right now, you have the new Superman Harvest of the Youth book out, and of course your backlog between Iceman, um, Rock Sort of
I'm like,
Soft,
yeah. Yeah.
all like I've told you before, like I have a Cena shelf over here with like all your trades, Ghosted in LA, everything, self-obsessed, I also have a Palnick perch, like a Chuck Palnick perch, and it just
Oh,
sounds
hell
cool. I need to name my Grant Morrison one, but I don't know. But so one of the things that I wanted to bring you in to talk about is Superman Harvest of the Youth. It's a telling of Superman growing up on a farm, his youth. And we are a farming community. So I'm really curious and excited. I don't want to give too much away because we have a panel Saturday too that people can come to. But to kind of pick your brain about that relationship between Superman and growing up in the farm versus his Kryptonian heritage versus his Metropolis storyline. Can you give us just like a little insight on kind of what that was like researching part of that?
Yeah, I mean, well, it was a little bit of a bummer. I really wanted to. I have friends of friends who have access to farms, and I grew up in LA and live in LA, so I make it sound like it's this exotic thing. Like I'm like, how do I get to a farm? um, but I was making this book like right in the heat of lockdown, and so I really couldn't like travel outside of sort of where I was, and I had a sick dog at the time, so I ended up kind of just stealing a lot from reading different things. Like I got a copy of like Pete Buttigieg's book, and he just really goes into sort of like the kind of like the science in the math of like running a town, and that influenced a lot of how I like perceived Smallville today. And then I was reading Craig Thompson's Ginseng Root, which was all about him growing up on a ginseng farm. So I kind of had those, in the back of my head, kind of like informing my approach to the book. And one thing that was like really important to me was I just did not want to talk about that goddamn Kryptonian rocket ship. I was like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm so like everyone knows. We don't need to
Like
get
the
into that.
pearls in Batman. It's like we've seen it, we've heard it, we
I'm
know.
over it. I'm
Yeah.
so over it. So I really avoided kind of that aspect of it. And yeah, and the book is basic, and another thing too was a friend of mine, his family has an alfalfa farm and he grew up on an alfalfa farm, and like I got a lot from that experience as well. And that kind of plays into one of the characters in the book that I created from the ground up didn't exist before, this character named Gil. So I just, I took a lot from my friends' experiences and then my own, and then reading really weird books.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to dive into it more. It's funny you say you talk about what you're reading. Uh, Yeah, I did the ginseng
Oh, you
like
got the box.
yeah. I so
It's a,
I have it coming from my LCS and from the publisher. I was like, I'll double down on that one. It's such a good story. So yeah, people who haven't read Superman Harvest of the Youth, it's great. I mean, I actually one
yes.
of the things I talked about, I was like, it's basically if All-Star Superman and Blankets had a baby, and that's the vibes it gave to me. So that's interesting that you were reading Ginseng Roots when you did it. As far as coming to Lubbock and stuff, what can people expect? Like just hang out, talk. Like what are some
Yeah.
things you want?
I mean,
What's your convention day look like when you normally go to a convention? I guess let me ask that.
I'm happy to spend like the whole day at the booth, and I will be there. I'll have some books on hand if anyone wants to buy some books. I'll be doing sketches if people want them, and then something I really liked doing lately is like I'll just pack kind of like a box of random singles I have, single issues, just because sometimes people will be like, oh crap, like you did that book and I didn't even know it, and or I want to meet you or something. And so I always like to have a couple of like gems that I'll sneak with me. I'll probably, because I know there'll be some little depressed boy fans, I'll probably even bring like some of the Russian editions we did. Like it's just cool, and I think those will be fun to like kind of give out to some people. But yeah, I'll have like a nice little table of fun things, and I'll bring out some stuff from the archives that I just am too lazy to put on my web store. So yeah, and I'm there to hang, and I'm just I feel like it'll be a really good energy, and there's going to be like a lot of people who probably have been following my work for like over a decade, so it's going to be cool to like have that energy. I haven't really done a convention outside of California in like 4 or 5 years, so this is my first sort of like back on the road convention. Everything else I've done is just sort of signings and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm really thrilled to kind of like spend a weekend and hang out, and yeah, I'm down to have a blast.
Sweet. Yeah, it's gonna be hopefully. I mean, I always joke that Lubbock, we're a bunch of friendly people with a bunch of food, and drinks. Like that's all. That's what there is to do here is eat and drink. So hopefully we can show you some good foods, good time, and things like that. Uh, before we head out, is there anything like people need to know? Like, do you want them to bring anything in particular? Like, is there a gym that you don't have that you would like to see somebody show up with?
Um, I don't know. I mean, yeah, like I'm always down to get surprised. It'll because I know that there's some people who live nearby that might show up, and so if anyone even remotely feels like surprising me and coming out for it, please do come say hey. Um, and in terms of food, I'll come with sweatpants. I'll come with elastic waistbands, and I'm ready to have some more barbecue. I think like one of the last times I was in Texas, I was a vegetarian, so that was a waste on me. Um, so yeah, I'm excited for all of it, and yeah, I'm ready to drink too. But I'll also be professional, and I'll also be there bright and early in the morning as well.
Ah, good. It's what I like to hear. So yeah, everybody, Sina's going to be at Lubbock-Con at the Lubbock Civic Center this weekend, February 24th and 25th. Tickets available at the door. They're still available online. Get weekend passes. Weekend passes are $30 in advance. That's for both days. We also have Apex Legends voice actors. We have Nicole King from Batwoman and You. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So I can't wait to see everybody out there. Sina, again, thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can't wait to be there.